I can't believe this D1 gatekeeper FDR hid this from me. Never did he inform me on the situation, and now I'm left with perhaps the most important decision of my life. And after meeting with Stalin and Churchill last week, both agreed that we need to put an end to this war. We need to minimize the civilian casualties, but shall we bomb or blockade? That is the question.
Let's go back, shall we? To understand how the atomic bomb came to be and why Truman faced the impossible decision of whether to use it, we have to go back to the broader context of World War II. By the early 1940s, the world was engulfed in total war. On one side, the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan, pursued aggressive expansion, leaving devastation in their wake. In the Pacific, Japan had launched a brutal campaign across East and Southeast Asia, and after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the United States entered the war. The Pacific theater became a prolonged and deadly conflict, even after Germany's surrender. Fierce battles were fought over islands like Okinawa and Iwo Jima. Japan showed no signs of relenting, and projections for a full-scale invasion of the Japanese mainland warned of catastrophic loss of life on both sides. Amid this global conflict, scientists in Germany had made a world-altering discovery, the possibility to split the atom, releasing immense energy. This discovery suggested the possibility of an entirely new kind of weapon, one more powerful than anything humanity had ever seen. In 1939, physicists Leo Szilard and Albert Einstein wrote to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning that Nazi Germany might try to build such a weapon. Their letter triggered alarm at the highest levels of government.
Mr. President, thank you for seeing me. We've confirmed it. Nuclear fission is not just theoretical anymore. Germany may already be developing a bomb.
A bomb? You mean something beyond TNT or firebombs?
This would dwarf all of that. If the chain reaction is sustained, it could level a city in seconds. The implications are unimaginable.
In 1939, Einstein and fellow physicist Leo Szilard feared what would happen if Hitler's regime got there first. Their letter to Roosevelt marked the start of what would become the Manhattan Project, a secret initiative that would permanently alter the course of global warfare and scientific ethics.
But you're telling me we have to build it first? Beat them to it?
I fear we must, but I also fear what happens if we succeed. Once this knowledge exists, it cannot be unlearned.
This wasn't just a scientific race, it was a turning point. For the first time, knowledge itself posed an existential risk. The pursuit of discovery now came with moral consequences.
Then we proceed carefully. But if it helps end this war, maybe it's a risk we must take.
The atomic bombs at our disposal represent only the first step. Thus, a nation which sets the precedent of using these newly liberated forces may have to bear the responsibility of opening the door to an era of devastation on an unimaginable scale.
Of course, war didn't end completely with the bomb. Public opposition grew in the United States during later years to the moral fallacies of claiming to stand with good, yet deploying a bomb engineered for mass destruction and killing thousands of civilians. And outside the borders, the international community was reeling at the sheer display of power from the U.S. The Soviet Union began building its own bomb, thus launching the atomic age and kickstarting the Cold War. The bomb didn't just end a war, it changed how we define knowledge, power, and responsibility. For the first time in history, a single scientific breakthrough held the potential not just to reshape geopolitics, but to end human history altogether. Science could no longer be seen as a pure force for progress. The atomic bomb forced both scientists and citizens to ask, should all knowledge be pursued? Many of those who helped build the bomb, including Robert Oppenheimer, came to regret what they had unleashed. The boundary between discovery and destruction had been blurred, and the moral cost of innovation could no longer be ignored. Today, the same questions echo across new frontiers: artificial intelligence, bioengineering, and global surveillance. Like the scientists of the Manhattan Project, we now live in an age where the stakes of progress are existential, where knowledge no longer just expands what we can do, but redefines who we are, what we value, and what we risk to advance. The atomic bomb didn't just end a war. It marked the moment America, and science itself, crossed a threshold that can never be uncrossed.